Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Luis Figueroa, the Chief of Legislative Affairs for Every Texan, and we are in opposition to Senate Bill 16 for a few reasons. Number one, we think it's important to recognize how difficult it is to obtain citizenship documents. Even the naturalization document itself says do not duplicate on the form itself, which is going to cause some people confusion about whether they should make a photocopy. They don't want to submit an original, obviously. The documentation to get a passport, getting out-of-state birth certificates, people who are born on ranches or not in a typical hospital oftentimes have difficulty obtaining these documents. People who are born abroad to U.S. military or to U.S. citizens often have to get a document from the U.S. State Department that is not easy to obtain. So we are concerned about disenfranchisement, which is why the National Voter Registration Act, the Motor Voter Law, has restricted some of this and said that you cannot go beyond what's required by federal law when it comes to federal elections. Our second concern is on database matching. You heard a lot of this from Andrew from the ACLU in terms of trying to match the different databases. You got the state voter database, you got the DPS database, you have national databases, and all of this is going to create a lot of confusion, and particularly for naturalization citizens who subsequently may not have gone back to DPS and informed the DPS that they are now naturalized. Third is our concern about the county responsibilities and verifying every single voter in this period of time. We think it's going to be very inefficient. Emily French talked a little bit about this. And lastly, we just want to mention the concern about the bifurcated voter rolls. As mentioned earlier today, you're going to have separate type of ballots, whether they're limited, whether they're provisional. This is going to create massive voter confusion for county election officials, voters showing up saying, what do you mean? I've been voting like this for decades, and now you're telling me I haven't provided some documentation, and now I'm going to have to vote some limited ballot and only for my congressional races, demanding a provisional ballot for a statewide race. I think it's just a recipe for a lot of confusion in the polling. I think at the very least we need a little bit more time to do this verification at the minimum. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
And thanks for your testimony.